Shabbat Shalom and greetings to you all. Well, how was Father's Day? You know, it's not too late to call him, to thank him. Not always seen, but always there. To protect, to provide, to love. Close your eyes. Have no fear. The monster's gone. He's on the run. And your daddy's here. Beautiful boy. Beautiful boy. Oh, you know what? Thanks, Dad. Now, you ready for the change in season? We have officially reached the summer solstice, a name meaning sun standing still. And believe it or not, it's known as midsummer, although it's the first official day. Now, it's also the longest day of the year. And in some places, it's longer than in others. In Finland, the day is 24 hours. In Alaska, it's 22. In Iceland, it's just over 21. In London or Paris, it's about 16 and a half. And, here in Toronto, it's about 15 and a half. But don't count on that amount of light illuminating the fact that we now live in a world where darkness reigns and facts just don't seem to matter anymore. But these special days, these 4 solar dates, the equinoxes and the solstices, were always viewed as sacred days. And they're clearly named in the Talmud. Tekufat Nisan, the spring equinox when the sun enters Aries. Tekufat Tammuz, the summer solstice, where we are now when the sun enters Cancer. Tekufat Tishrei, the autumn equinox, when the sun enters Libra. Tekufat Tuvet, the winter solstice, when the sun enters Capricorn. Tekufa meaning turn or cycle. Now we celebrate these special power days with blessings for the changing seasons and Kavanah, the prayerful intentions for crossing from one time to another. They're not new. They're actually based on very old traditions. And remember, my friends, everything that happens in your life is a result of your Kavanah, your intentions that you put out. May the source of life and all it is be a blessing to you. Now, the changing of the season heralds new challenges and new opportunities, and each stood for certain events which took place in biblical history. They represented the 4 new years, often mentioned, the key dates, which helped unify the solar and lunar calendars and their celebrations. The spring equinox was all about the triumph of life, because it's the spring, new growth comes. The summer solstice, the one we're in now, is about loss and abundance. We're going to talk about that. The autumn equinox, the link between earth and heaven when the high holidays occur. The winter solstice, the search for light when we're at our darkest time. Now, so I mentioned this one is about loss and abundance. Why loss? It's light, it's warm, it's life at its best. It seems odd. The summer solstice is believed to be the day the flood stopped. So the water ceased pouring onto the earth. It is believed to be the day God exiled Adam and Eve from the Garden of Eden. And when he told Moses he could not enter the promised land. And for those who saw wicked, it's true, animals had the power of speech, and it ended on this day. It's the day God stopped the sun for setting. For Joshua, so it's believed that on this day no creature is a shadow. It's also considered a day of closure. The water, the garden, a day of exile, Adam and Eve, Moses. And loss, the animal's ability to speak. But it is also a day of great benevolence. God provided water from the rock while the people were in the wilderness, the standing still of the sun to provide light. It's a day of paradox. Maximum light, the turn towards darkness. Now, here's a prayer for marking the change for the summer solstice. Blessed are you, Lord our God, who guides the world, who makes creation, whose wisdom changes the times and turns the seasons. As long as the days of the earth endure, planting and harvest, heat and cold, summer and winter, day and night shall not cease. Blessed are you, divine presence, who blesses the years. And remember, Judaism in all of its prayers are always based upon these intentions that we put out. So we have to think about our intentions for the seasonal transitions. Kavanah la tekufot, seasons for the change. For the summer solstice, we take from the book of Malachi, which means my, being God, messenger. A rarely, if ever, read book. And this book became the transition book, actually, between the Old and New Testaments. A day is coming that burns like a furnace. I will shine upon you who revere the name of the infinite, Son of Righteousness, with healing in her wings. The promise of healing is always there. And the world is burning these days. Now, switching from summer, and I hate having to talk about the same painful topic every week, but I remember, back many years ago, the Iranian Revolution with the storming of the U.S. Embassy and the taking as hostages of those inside. I remember Ted Koppel beginning his run on television every night by counting the days till the hostages were free. Marked a change towards conservatism as Reagan defeated Carter. No, we don't remember anymore that it's now almost 9 months since the Israeli hostages were taken. This little coverage on TV. We don't talk about it, we don't read about it, and we don't even try and end it. You know it. And it took until 2019 for the U.S. government to brand the Iranian Revolutionary Guard as a terrorist organization, even though Iran had been branded as state-sponsored terrorism years earlier. It took until 2023 for the European Parliament to second that. And well, lo and behold, it took till only a couple of days ago for Canada to finally decide to agree and brand the Guard, the death to Israel chanters and bombers, as a terror organization. Okay, so they had a major part in the planning, financing, and execution of the Hamas genocidal attack on October 7th. They fund and control Hezbollah and many other terror organizations. But they're only human. Well, they're not human. They may be in physical appearance, but certainly not morally. Look, I'm a rabbi, I'm not a politician. I wouldn't be a very good politician. So I tend to stay away from political or social commentaries. But you'd have to be practically blind not to notice the miscommunication that goes on. I know people have confused what has transpired as being events between Israel and the Palestinians, but it is not. Hamas and the Palestinians are two completely different things. Hamas was founded in 1987 to liberate Palestine, which includes modern-day Israel, from what was called Israeli occupation, and to establish an Islamic state in the area that is now Israel, the West Bank, and the Gaza Strip. The old PLO of Yasser Arafat disappeared and was split between two factions, one in the West Bank and Hamas in Gaza. In the January 2006 Palestinian parliamentary elections, Hamas won a majority in the Palestinian parliament, defeating the PLO-affiliated Fatah party. The two parties in the two regions have very little to do with each other. Hamas stresses jihad, a holy war waged on behalf of Islam as the sole and immediate means to solve the problem of Palestine. Hamas aims to create an Islamic state in all of Palestine. The immediate means to achieve this goal is the escalation of the armed struggle, with the participation not only of Palestinian Muslims, but of the entire Islamic world. It is the more militant band of a militant band. And accordingly, Hamas has been branded a terror organization by most of the world almost since its founding. And so every so often it did what it did 9 months ago and continues to do, firing missiles into Israel from Gaza, but this time they were just much bolder. How did the ongoing terror attacks on Israel become an Israel-Palestine discussion? This has become pure anti-Semitism. It's not about land. It's not about religion. It's not about rights. There's only one place in the Middle East where equal freedom exists among all, and that is Israel, where Muslims and Christians have more freedom and rights than Jews have in any Muslim nation. There's not one Arab nation that has offered any land to settle anyone or taken anybody from this region into their nations. The West Bank, and particularly Gaza, have fomented political animals. One is controlled by one group and the other is controlled by a second separate terror organization that has one goal: destruction and elimination, not of the land, but of the religion. Hatred of Jews is their raison d'etre. Well, it's time to wake up, people. Blind hatred, whether from jealousy or differences, is unacceptable and sadly has been with us forever. In fact, we're going to see it again this week in our reading. There's no longer accountability for insanity. And so society does seem to be tottering on the brink, but we can pull back. And we pull back by our coming together and accepting each other like we do, loving each other, respecting each other. So let's all of us gather right now as we come together as a group to honor and pray and observe as a community, putting differences aside, as we form our like-minded group, collective consciousness of seekers showing faith, any and all faith, love, any and all love, a true chavura, a fellowship, as we express our nature of kindness, compassion, thoughts, feelings, hopes, dreams, and wishes that unites us all, this community house of spirit, Beth Ruach, sharing and bringing light, keeping fear at bay. And even though together, we're individual in our approach, each connected in his or her or their own way. So once again, go ahead and invite everybody, physically, digitally, psychically, emotionally, spiritually, any way at all, to gather and share. From Psalm 133, the Hine Matov, come together. Shevet Achim Hine Matov How good, how pleasant it is for brothers and sisters together. Community. 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 Together. We support each other in this community. Let's all spread love, goodwill, and fellowship to the world. Remember, friends, this is you setting aside a little bit of sacred time in your sacred space to honor and converse with whoever, whatever you happen to believe in. We all believe in something. It's part of your Kavanaugh, your intention that you put out to the universe. It's your goodwill. Goodwill and intention are the roots of what you control, of what you correct. It is your intention that sets in motion everything that occurs in lives. So let's take some time now. Let's use that intention. Let's send some goodwill, some light, some healing out to whoever you know that needs it. Healing and renewal is for everyone. It floats through space. It finds those in need. So send it out. For those you know and for the souls and spirits of everybody you love. So think of whoever that needs healing and renewal and love or just plain goodwill. Focus on them. Call their names. It's not just for people. It is for our pets. It's for the earth. It is the healing of the world. The tikkun olam. That's part of our spiritual genetic makeup. Part of the healing of the world is when we send thoughts and energy for health and renewal and goodwill for everybody. You don't have to be sick, although it's usually a prayer sent for the sick. But it is for those in our hearts and our minds. So let's all send energy out for the people in need everywhere. Special thoughts and prayers for those in need of assistance. And let's continue to pray for the release of those hostages. We pray for those who need prayer. We don't have to know them. Because we want health, recovery, good life for everybody around us. For Johnny and for Muriel and Barry, for Terry, Mary, for Kathy and Carla, for Mina and Jessica, for poor Lucy, for Gabby and her terrible loss, for Marilyn and Maria, for Chaz and Shelley, for Pam and Gloria, for Joan and Maria, for Doria, for Teresa, for Connie, for Ronnie, dear Ronnie, for Tally and Mayim, for Luke, for Nina and Danny, for all those suffering and in need. Let's not forget to include all the familiars of our lives, all our sacred animal friends everywhere, for everybody you know in need, for the whole world, and for Rosemary. Friends, it is the kindness, the healing wishes, goodwill, and love we all send out. It just circles the world finding those in need. So thank you, each of you, for all you do, for all you care. Because the world is a world of spirit, my friends, and spirit never dies. Me. Avotenu Makor Limotenu. May the source of strength bless the ones for us. Help us find the courage. Make our lives a blessing. The renewal of body. The renewal of spirit. Let us say Amen. Misha Barak, let us all have our spirits renewed. This is the great prayer for healing, which we call upon God to heal as He's healed before, and will again. Mishaberach, may He who blessed, because all healing's a blessing. Let's all send and receive healing and renewal energy in our efforts to love, to share, to care, to grow. Now today we're going to look at, briefly, 2 readings. And they're not actually ever read together. But due to the holiday last week, only certain things have been covered, so I used last week to talk about Shavuot. So I'm putting these readings together this year. Welcome, friends, to Nasso, Add Up, and beha'alotcha, Set Up. We're rapidly approaching a new world, where logic is an enemy and truth is a menace. Do not let this happen. This week you're going to read about a biblical test designed to fail. And it was designed to fail in order to protect the falsely accused. They knew people would be falsely accused. And a mechanism was put in place to protect them. Now, while the beginning of this reading has another mini census of another group who will die, don't dwell on the numbers in the book of Numbers. It's not what it's about. The book is about the journey, the wilderness, and the development or growth of the organism. The great metaphor of life is now upon us. There's 2 fascinating things we read about this week. The test for the unfaithful wife and the Nazarite pledge. Now there's a lot here. The incredible episode of the Sota, the unfaithful wife, which ended up actually having 2 tractates of the Talmud. We also get the first reference to holy water in the Bible, and the first time a crime can be charged with innuendo and feeling. No evidence, no witnesses. Maybe we're still doing these things. The Nazarite vow allows anyone, including women, to take the vow of high priest and live the life without being of the family of Aaron, with one huge differentiation. Their hair was kept long, instead of the high priest short, leaving us easily identifying the 2 most famous Nazarites in history, Samson, of Samson and Delilah. What a story, what a film. What incredible lessons. We should devote an episode to him and his story sometime. And of course the even more famous Nazarite, Yeshua ben Yosef, Jesus, not from Nazareth, because he was from Bethlehem, but Jesus, the Nazarite. But this whole business about the unfaithful wife being accused with no witnesses, no evidence, nothing. It went against everything that the law talked about, and therefore the mechanism put in place to protect her. But there's something else here this week, and it's connected to every holiday and every ability to be mindful with our approach to life. And it's something you see in every movie that has religion or spirituality in it. And that's our entire concept of blessings. Now, we're most familiar with the Shabbat blessings over light, wine, and bread. But we tend to just say them, quickly because we memorize them, but we don't think about what they actually say and what they mean. And I mention this because this week's reading includes the blessing that the priests are supposed to bestow upon the people of Israel. It is the one done every high holiday, when the Cohens in the synagogue cover themselves with their tallits and give the Vulcan, long live and prosper sign that Leonard Nimoy took from his days in Orthodox shuls during the high holy days and injected into the culture of the world, and I don't think anybody thought it would become the culture of the world. And it's found in Numbers 6:24 to 26. Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, may God bless you and watch over you. Ye'er Adonai panav elecha v'hunecha, may God shine his face towards you, show you favor. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom, may God lift up his face to you and grant you peace. What an amazing wish for anyone. And it too has found its way into other forms of cultural appropriation, sometimes without our realizing. May God bless and keep you always. May your wishes all come true. May you always do for others and let others do for you. And isn't that how it's supposed to work? We help others, we bless others, and are blessed in return. It's a never-ending circle. And it could be a never-ending circle of positivity, but it is not. There is a disconnect. The disconnect is us. Then we also get a very important lesson this week, one we all need to keep in mind, and we see that in Numbers 12:1. And Miriam and Aaron with her spoke against Moses concerning the Cushite wife he had taken, for he had taken a Cushite wife. Well, we don't know anything about this Cushite wife. We knew he was married to the Midianite and had the two children way back during the Exodus from Egypt, but we don't know who this is. And the Lord's wrath flared against them, and he went off. And the cloud moved off from over the tent, and look, Miriam was blanched as snow. And Aaron turned to Miriam, and look, she was struck with skin blanch. And Aaron said to Moses, I beseech you, my Lord, pray, do not put upon us the offense which we did foolishly, and by which we offended. Let her not be, pray, like one dead, who when he comes out of his mother's womb, half his flesh is eaten away. And Moses cried out to the Lord, saying, God, pray, heal her, pray. Now, of course, older translations have blanched as snow as leprosy. But now we know it's not leprosy. If we understand correctly, the Cushite wife would be Ethiopian. Then this is a provocative case of punishment to suit the crime and a powerful biblical statement regarding racism. It is as if God says to Miriam, you don't like a woman with dark pigmentation? Then you don't have to have any pigmentation. Or you don't like a woman who's black? Try being completely white. Miriam and Aaron spoke against Moses' black wife, perhaps because she was black. And that's assuming she was Ethiopian. Pardon me. Now, this was not permanent. Miriam was left like that for 7 days. And then brought back into the fold. Remember, priests don't cure. The cure is expected. The cure is expected to take place for everybody. Priests simply oversee the return, teshuvah, of the member of the tribe. The opportunity to cure, to heal, to return to the hive is always there. Aaron and Miriam exhibited racism and jealousy of Moses, and of Moses being singled out as a prophet. Why not them? They felt that they should be prophets too. One of the age-old sins. And it's not going away so fast. I was dreaming of the past. And my heart was beating fast. I began to lose control. I began to lose control. Didn't mean to hurt you. I'm sorry that I made you cry. Jealousy. Now, we talked about making small prayers. We just read the smallest prayer of the Bible. And Moses cried out to the Lord, saying, "O God, heal her." It is the shortest prayer in the Bible, my friends. So what's a prayer? We talked about it before. It's an entreaty. It's asking something from God. Size doesn't matter. And you don't have to go on and on and on. It's a throwback to the kingly petition system, praise, entreaty, promise, that the entire high holiday prayers are built upon. The great Nobel laureate who turned 83 the other day had the two extremes, the 17-minute murder most foul, or the phrase that summed up a time in a generation, everybody must get stoned. Miriam's sin, my friend, stemming from jealousy, was gossiping. Lashon hara, forbidden speech. Why is it forbidden? It's a negative speech. But according to Maimonides, it's a great interpreter, anything which, if it would be publicized, would cause the subject physical or monetary damage, or would cause him anguish or fear, is Lashon hara. That's a wonderful definition. In the Pikei Avot, which I've mentioned before and will again, the Ethics of the Fathers, it says, whoever engages in excessive talk brings on sin. My friends, when you listen, you participate in gossip or any other form of Lashon hara. 3 people are affected: the teller, the listener, and the subject. Do not be any one of the 3. Gossip is purely destructive, as Miriam showed us, and her and Aaron's jealousy of Moses as prophet was destructive. Yes, my friends, the world is sacred. So is everything in it. Express your gratitude, light a candle, make a wish. Celebrate your life and the lives of those you love. Share your feelings with them. Live free, be free. Honor your freedom. Be well, be happy, be blessed. Share and honor the light. Enjoy the light. And all who live in the light and continue to shine. Continue to send everybody you know goodwill and love. Pray for peace and freedom for everybody. The release of the hostages. An end to terror and end to hatred. Remember, friends, we're a community. All of man. We learn together, we celebrate with each other, we love each other, we share the ride together, men and women equally. So let's all send out love, not fear. Send out peace, harmony, goodwill, and healing to all who need it. Learn to forgive, learn to love. Open your hearts, honor the relationships of your life, and tell those you love that you love them. Examine your intentions. Use them to imprint your will on the universe, because we set in motion everything that happens. It is our intention, our kavanah, our cause, our effect. It's all linked. You always have time to forgive and to be forgiven. You have that knowledge of what's good and bad. It's built into you. So acknowledge what you've done wrong to yourself, to God, and to any person you've wronged. Ask forgiveness. Do so with sincerity, accountability, vulnerability. Forgive those who've hurt you as you learn to be forgiving and compassionate. The secret of forgiveness, compassion, and peace is in acceptance. Can you accept yourself? Other people in the world just as they are? Can you accept life as it is without trying to control it? Because if you do, you can experience the peace that acceptance brings. So keep on dreaming, my friends. Keep on being, keep sharing, keep shining, keep teaching. Keep spreading joy and goodwill. Do not follow fear, follow love, because it's always in front of you. Love with the heart, because we're all part of a greater whole. Work to be present in the body. Expand your heart, quiet your mind. Because the deepest source of your real power lies in your consciousness and your ability to be mindful, to be aware, to be present in all of life circumstances. Always be there for someone, because someone will always be there for you whether you know it or not. And continue to explore faith and belief in what they mean to you. And never accept shame as a natural state, because whatever you feel, others have felt. Whatever you've experienced, others have too. We share together. We learn together. We help each other. We are each of us trying to find love and acceptance and support. We all have or could have that special someone in our lives, so find them and tell them what they mean. Now, you're never alone on your journey. Keep forgiving those you need to forgive, and keep asking forgiveness from those you need to ask forgiveness of. It's not a one-day thing. It's an always. And listen to that voice of God as he, she, it, them, they. I don't know what other pronouns I'm leaving out. Talks to you, and remember your connection to God and all he has created in body and soul. It's a part of you. It's a part of me. It's a part of all of us, and will be forever. We need to spread love, not hate, because we are all one. Now when the rumor comes to your town, it grows and grows. Where inside no one knows. Some of your neighbors will invite it right in. Maybe it's a lie, even if it's a sin. Don't repeat the rumor again. Do not participate in bad speech, my friends. Do not spread rumors. Do not succumb to jealousy. Thank you all for joining me. Keep sharing the light. Practice forgiveness. Be thankful, be gracious, be kind, be loving. Believe in yourself and others. Spread a little goodwill to the world. Continue to be the miracle in someone else's life. and be an example of all you can be. Shabbat Shalom, and blessings to you all. Take care.